All right, but let's not forget what Al Green did. Al Green stood in front of the president's face and told him repeatedly, you have no mandate to cut Medicaid. None. News of the day, I think everybody, I think this is probably news of the day. The House voted to censure Al Green. Here was Al Green giving his own defense, which I think a lot of people maybe are overstating this. I like this. I think it's I think it's good to show solidarity. I think it's good when you take a stand against something that is means a lot to your constituents. But in the grand scheme of things, none of this matters a great deal. But I appreciate that Al Green didn't show up and be a Karen. He was like, I'm standing on business. I said what I said.
And I did it with intentionality. The president indicated that he had a mandate. I said to the president, you do not have a mandate to cut Medicaid. I have constituents who need Medicaid. They will suffer and some will die if they don't get Medicaid. I heard the speaker when he said that I should cease. I did not, and I did not with intentionality. It was not done out of a burst of emotion. I was emotional about it, but I did it with intentionality. I think that on some questions of conscience, you have to be willing to suffer the consequences. And I have said I will. I will suffer whatever the consequences are, because I don't believe that in the richest country in the world, people should be without good health care. I stood up for my constituents then. I'm standing up for my constituents now. I am grateful to Mr. McGovern for what he has said. I'm grateful to those who have been standing with me. But I will tell you, I appreciate you. No anger. The officers who escorted me out, they were kind to me. I don't blame the speaker for anything. Friends, I would do it again. I have to be candid with you. I'm not trying to in some way insult you. This is a matter of principle. This is a matter of conscience. There are people suffering in this country because they don't have health care. I'll close with this. On some issues that are matters of conscience, it is better to stand alone than not stand at all. This is where I stand.
All right. There's Al Green's words. Al Green knew what was going to happen. He knew exactly what the outcome would be if he did what he did. So I saw a bunch of movement there. I thought for sure I was muted. He knew what he was doing. He likely knew he'd be censured. I think everybody there that night knew that he would be censured. And honestly, like somebody, I don't remember who it was. Sorry, I could scroll up. I don't remember. Maybe it was Illusion. I think it might have been Illusion. Said, why don't you care more about this? Like, I do care about this, but it's important to put these things in context and address them for what they are and take the meaning as intended. I think what is really frustrating to me is, and we've seen it in the comments already, people calling out Jared Moskowitz. There were 10 Democrats who agreed to censure. I didn't look into any of that. I don't know if any of them have went on record explaining why they chose to censure. I don't know. But I do know this. I do know that Republicans have been censured. And I do know that Republicans have been censured by Democrats specifically for interrupting things like Senate speeches. I do know that they have taken votes. And so if you're Jared Moskowitz and you happened to vote to censure somebody else for disrupting a meeting, even after being warned, then I think you have to vote to censure Al Green. And we're playing the same politics here. Being part of why this works is because he forced them to censure. That's part of why it works. And part of the reason he responds like this is to say, look, I knew This is good trouble. That somebody said he's getting into good trouble. It's good trouble. I don't think that this should be something that we now divide ourselves over. I don't think we need to go out and primary a bunch of Democrats who voted for this, unless they have some insane reason. Like let's hear them out. I'm just saying, if you are a Democrat who thinks that the rules apply to everybody, and you have voted for those rules to apply to everybody, and then you decide not to vote when those rules apply to you, you're never going to have any goodwill. There's not going to be credibility when you do something. I mean, one of the big problems I have with Congress, we all should have with Congress, is they have turned it into such a partisan game that nothing means anything anymore. Impeachment meant nothing when Donald Trump was impeached twice. It meant fucking nothing. Nobody cared. The only ones that cared were the people who didn't like Donald Trump. Even though he was guilty as hell, like I will say it, guilty as hell. But it did nothing. Like when we minimize these processes, when we take away from these processes, when we ignore rules, it's not beneficial. Like I don't know what I don't know what we're watching here. Al Green did this to get censored. He wanted to be censured. He wanted to have this moment right here. It was all part of it. He knew what he was. This is not a dumb person. This is not somebody who, like he said, had an emotional outburst the night of and is like, fuck, hey, this isn't fair because you guys don't censure them. He didn't show up and play whataboutism. He took it to a different level. He's being an adult. I just think we should maybe be as much of an adult as he's being. Do you think Al Green is going to spend any time talking about Jared Moskowitz? I bet he doesn't. I bet he doesn't name a single person on that list who voted to censure him because it doesn't fucking matter. That's not the part that matters. The part that matters now is in the middle of his speech, it was disrupted, and now the American people have their attention on Al Green, and Republicans who never would have looked at Al Green, and people on CNN and MSNBC and Fox News and Newsmax and OAN, everybody is going to show Al Green today. When was the last time you saw Al Green? We don't see him very often in the news. He's not a headliner very often. And he showed up and he delivered his message beautifully here. And I think like that should be the takeaway. I swear to God, like I just think sometimes we wake up every day like trying to find a boogeyman. There's a very specific boogeyman. Can we eyes on the prize here? Like we know what's happening right now. We need to go after Jared Moskowitz. We need to demand loyalty. We need to do the exact thing that we're literally criticizing Republicans every day. Like, is one of you guys going to break away and do the right thing? We should celebrate when somebody has a different opinion. This is not a big deal. It's just not. It's not a significant moment in history as far as a censure. Censures happen all the time. It's significant because of what Al Green did. And I think I just hate that somehow on a day when he delivered this impassioned speech, most of the rhetoric is, fuck Jared Moskowitz. Like, all right. Fuck these Democrats. Like sometimes we're just always looking for some reason to be offended by something. This was a beautiful moment by Al Green. And I think we do him and the message and his action. I think we do it all a massive disservice by focusing negatively on other Democrats. I don't see, maybe I've missed it. I don't see a lot of Democrats coming out and going after those other 10 Democrats. I think we're drawing the dichotomy is pretty clear here. Like we can have some disagreement. Right. But let's not forget what Al Green did. Al Green stood in front of the president's face and told him repeatedly, you have no mandate to cut Medicaid. None. Nobody voted to cut Medicaid. None of you ran on cutting Medicaid. You do not have a mandate to cut Medicaid. And nobody could hear him. So then he got to go out in front of reporters and he said, there's no mandate to cut Medicaid. And then he got his chance on the House floor and he said, there's no mandate to cut Medicaid. This is a selfless civil servant who is now lost really his ability to be in any sort of spotlight. He spoke out for his constituents. That's the type of representation we should applaud all across this country. And I just don't want that part of the message to be the part that is missed. There's my preaching for today. However, sticking with Al Green, I did like this. I like this. This is the part that I liked. Democrats came together around Al Green. They sang, what was this? We Shall Overcome. That's what it's called, I think, right? And they stood there while the gavel was happening again. That looks like pretty good solidarity to me. I like that.
That Representative Al Green forthwith present himself in the well of the House of Representatives for the pronouncement of censure, and that Representative Al Green be censured with public reading of this resolution by the Speaker. The House had come to order. The House had come to order.
What's it? You want to let him keep doing this?
I love hearing the hot mic. He's like, "What are we gonna do? We're just gonna let him keep doing this till the song's over." This is why it's kind of effective. Like it stalls it. By the way, for Republicans, like, why are you guys doing this during Congress? You guys sat on your fucking hands for the last 2 years. You wouldn't pass a bill. You didn't do anything for 2 years. The fact that people are singing is more than what you guys did. I don't even know what they're upset about. At least there's some entertainment for the Republicans doing absolutely nothing. All they do is hold hearing after hearing after hearing to try and convince the American people that somehow Donald Trump is a victim. They haven't passed any significant legislation in forever. They can't pass a fucking budget. They're still doing continuing resolutions from Nancy Pelosi. It's the most inept House of all time. So yeah, a little music, it's good. If they're going to do nothing, they might as well sing.
The House had come to order. Clear the well, please. Clear the well. The House has to continue its business.
Kick him out. It's also fun to like see the Karens in the Republican Party just yelling, "You have no power. Kick him out. I hate this. I hate this so very much." I understand to Republicans that looks silly. To Democrats, it looks like solidarity. And there doesn't seem to be a lot of solidarity when it comes to ideas and when it comes to constituencies out of the Republican Party. The Republicans seem to be standing only in solidarity ever to Donald Trump. Ever.